This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Early Morning Word from One Church. I'm your host for this edition, John Godbolt, and it is a privilege and a pleasure to be able to come and share with you a nugget out of God's Word. And today I want to talk with you about the end. But before we get into that, please, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, and follow. Let me add one more. Visit. Like us, share this with someone, subscribe to us on every form of social media, and then visit us at One Church, 918 Person Street in the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Now, the end. There's a story, a parable that Jesus gives about a man having three servants. And you know the story if you ever read the Bible. Someone's preached this to you about two of the servants, one who had 5 talents and one who had 2, and the one who had 1 talent. Well, what he said to the one that had 5 and turned it to 10, and one who had 2 and turned it to 4 or 5 talents, depending on what version you're reading, this story is the same. The words are the same. Verse 21, his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Stephen Covey, in his 7 Habits of Effective People, begins with one of these statements. Begin with the end in mind. One of the 7 habits of effective people is to begin with the end in mind. There are Eastern cultures that when their children are born, what they do is begin with them by saying, what do you want your Creator to say to you at the end of your life when you stand before your Creator? The students or the child would give a statement, and they will tell them, well, you must begin your journey with that in mind. When I was working with children who were dysfunctional, those who were born in poverty, and we were teaching them not only education through math, reading, and so on, we were teaching them the education of life. And I gave them this lesson. I want you to sit down and tell me or write down what you want on your tombstone or what you want people to say about you at your funeral. And they looked like dying. I said, well, yes, we all will die one day. No one is here to live forever. So what do you want them to say? And I taught them then to write down. If you want people to say nice things about you, then what do you need to do now, today, starting going in that direction? This is the story we're talking about here. We have been given life. We have been given the gift of these hands and service. We've been given, many of us, wealth and opportunities. And the question is, what are we doing with that right now, that for humanity? How are we living before God that we can see Him look at us at the end of our journey and say, well done? Are you living like you should? Are you using your resources, your time, your talent? Are you using those gifts that God has given you right now so that you can be a blessing to others? That's what the question is. And the answer should be, well done, thou good and faithful servant. If it is, then you will be one of those who will hear God say that. And remember, do what you can, do what is possible, and watch God do the impossible.